Hey everyone, welcome to a new Pathetically Unfiltered. I am your host, Maribel Blue. Today we are gonna change up the way I do this show. I'm gonna include other pieces of news other than politics because I think sometimes we need to mix it up a little bit just to keep the entertainment going. If you are new here, welcome to this channel. Thank you to all of the new subscribers to this channel. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the love and support you have given to this Santana video, plus the other video that I did something different. I talked about the Target thief, Ray Williams Johnson, I think his name is. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, that he had put together. So if you have not checked out that video, please do check it out. It is funny, it is short, and if you are not new, welcome back. And before we get started with this segment, I just want to say, if you do not know about my store, Surfbox, you must go and check it out. I've added these new items. These are blessed candles, and they have beautiful AI images, which unfortunately you cannot see very well because of the glare. Yeah, we're still having glare, but this is a beautiful AI image of dollars floating out of the sky. It will be blessed for you. And I've also added sage, I believe, with the purchase. So definitely do check it out. And most importantly, check out these soaps that we have available on surfbox.com. It is a spa and metaphysical store. Making purchases on Surfbox helps support the store, helps support the channel, and you can donate to my Cash App, which is noted here below. And if I didn't say it, if you are not new, welcome back. I think I did, but I can't remember right now, and I can't go back and rewind. So let's get started. Let's get started with the top of the news of all of the lies that convict Trump told during this congressional speech that he gave, which really wasn't congressional at all. And of course, I have my handy cards here because I don't want to forget very important and relevant notes that I want to discuss on this episode. Let's talk about lie number one, where we inherited from the last admin an economic catastrophe, which actually it's the reverse if you think about it. We were just coming out of a catastrophe thanks to Donald Trump. And now we're back in this catastrophe if nobody can see it. And you know what? Watching these lives with the TikTok content creators, they really don't see it at all. Here's my point with all of this. When we had Obama for 8 years, it actually took an additional four to get the ball rolling, to get everything rolling. In all fairness, it really doesn't take 4 years to fix anything. Now, again, this is my own personal thought from what I've seen from voting, how all of these policies work. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time. With Donald Trump, because he's such a terrible businesswoman.
On the people. Oh, somebody. Oh, he needs some milk.
Ooh. With Donald Trump, because he's such a terrible businessman, I don't know where woman came from. He is very good at creating catastrophic events, as he's done so far in the past couple of weeks. And I hear these Trump supporters about give him time. He just got there. He just started. It really doesn't matter. The man is not a very good business person at all. He's already created unemployment for a lot of employees who got fired for no reason. And when I think about why he invited Ilanka into his mess, basically it just goes like this. Ilanka purchased Twitter, and then he came in with what, a sink or a toilet bowl, whatever it was he was holding, and started getting rid of everybody. Like that was supposed to be a good thing. When a company acquires another company or a person acquires another company, before the acquirement begins, there are negotiations on how the person will be handling this new business, especially if they're acquiring a company with somebody else. So it's not just them solely making a decision on how the company will be run moving forward. I have been part of an acquirement, which means I was an employee of a company that was acquiring another company, and how that affects everybody's individual job, because you don't want redundancy if one employee is there and another employee is coming in and doing the same thing. And again, it all depends on the negotiations. Is this company coming in going to be a separate entity, but still be part of the parent company of how they are building the business, in essence? Ilanka doesn't have those types of ethics. He does not know how to run anything. He does not know how to invent anything. And think about when he purchased Twitter, a lot of people either went with the gamut and was purchasing a blue check mark because they wanted to feel special and important, or the majority of the people like myself just left because we didn't want to be part of the cesspool, which became X. So if Donald Trump thought that this was something cute, Ilanka possesses going into businesses and getting rid of people because of whatever reason that is, that he likes causing chaos. And then he thought it was okay to cause chaos within the federal government. No, it's not cute at all. And with his followers really buying the lies of this wasteful spending, what are we wastefully spending on? Let's move on to the next point. Wasteful spending when it came to Social Security, and people actually believing that a person who is 110 years old is receiving Social Security. I found a video from AOC that we're going to play now. That way you can get firsthand on how it works.
All of that rattling off on Social Security and trying to frame Social Security as largely wasteful, this idea that there's like checks going out, tons of Social Security checks going out to dead people. No. Social Security monitors who passes away and processes who passes away. That doesn't mean they're cutting a check to people who pass away. And they are setting all of this up. They are trying to trick you. They're trying to trick your grandparents. They're trying to trick young people into thinking that it's all wasteful so that they can get away with cutting it to pieces. They are setting up to rob you, And that is the moral of the story of this State of the Union tonight. He was trying to dance around their number one priority, which is to rob and gut Medicaid, Medicare, and all of our public systems, Social Security, etc., in order to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. Overwhelmingly, tax cuts for billionaires, corporations, it's the write-offs on the yachts. It's the write-offs on the private jets. It's the rich getting richer.
Now, let's think about what she said. Yes, granted, there are people in their 90s that are still alive and still receiving Social Security. And think about what she said. This is the whole thing, that people are not using their critical thinking skills as to why they would want to gut something that is actually helping people. I think about this one particular person who was on Zeus's live. I think he called himself Plot, who made this comment about how he was going to work forever and ever, and he was never going to retire. And that's all well and good. And that's the way I feel. I always want to work. I never want to retire. However, I paid into my Social Security. Every time I got paid and they took out those taxes, they were taking out for Social Security. So I am entitled to that money as much as the next person who paid into it. For Ilanka to say that it is a big pyramid scheme, it's just another ploy where he's using his social engineering skills to con people into believing that this is a Ponzi scheme. And it's not a Ponzi scheme. It is something that we have a right to. It is our money. Now, here's the other thing, okay? I have a friend who works in healthcare, and she has told me about the phone calls that she gets without, of course, disclosing any of the patients because we are not allowed to do that. They are not allowed to share things with me in that capacity. And I completely understand that. But understand the people that call in do not expect one day to either have a heart attack, to lose a leg, to be wheelchair bound, where they can probably not work, who are also suffering with mental issues and abilities where they cannot go out and work because they just don't have the capacity. People who are suffering from depression, who cannot get up and go out and work. There are so many cases where people just cannot get up and go out and work. And think about maybe those who are wheelchair bound and can work, maybe have the mental capabilities to work, but not be able to get up and go out and have the ability to be able to work remotely. And you have some stupid ass like Ilanka Muck talking about doing away with remote work. He can literally go fuck himself. He is the most unempathetic human being to exist on this planet. And for anyone who thinks that his behavior is okay, that his logics are okay, that Donald Trump's logics are okay, they are not. They do not care about the American people. They do not like the American people, namely Black and brown people. Okay, because that's exactly what it is. They do not care. And from what I understand, that I saw somebody in the on the Discord mention that Pete Hegseth is now removing certain parts of history that have to do with Black and brown people, that have to do with women. These are men who hate women for whatever reason that is. And we as women need to protect ourselves, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. Let's just stay on point when it comes to these things. Trump supporters are buying into the propaganda. I'm going to read you something. This is from the Army Talk, the Orientation Fact Sheet, number 64. Fascism is a government by the few and for the few. The objective is seizure and control of the economic, political, social, and cultural life of the state. Why? The democratic way of life interferes with their methods and desires for one, conducting business, two, living with their fellow man, three, having the final say in matters concerning others as well as themselves. The basic principles of democracy stand in the way of their desires. Hence, democracy must go. Does all of this sound familiar? The Heritage Foundation was built upon dismantling our government so that they can have control because they think that their religion is right and it's wrong. Everybody is entitled to believe in the God of their understanding. There is no such thing as the United States being founded from some Christian belief. No, no, no. Let's not get it fucking twisted. We all know what Christopher Columbus did. We all know how he maimed and killed people that were from here. Please, please, don't sit there and be okay with any form of genocide because it is not okay. It is not okay what is happening right now. And anybody who believes in it, you should be disgusted with yourself. Moving on. Here's another lie that he mentioned in his speech. Growth in the auto industry and plants are opening up everywhere. They are not. I actually tried looking to see if there was any recent news of any plants opening up in the auto industry. Nothing is opening up. Sorry. And here's another lie. He believes for the first time in modern history, we are heading in the right direction. Really? Is that why the stock market crashed? Because usually the right direction, they will be green and not red. I'm just saying. Here's another thing that I wanted to bring up. When he talked about transgender mice, I mean, it does not surprise me the things that comes out of this man's mouth. And I found a very interesting video on TikTok that I'm going to share with you now that basically explains it with a bit of sarcasm and comedy, which I enjoy.
$8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
No, it's not real, not in the way that you think. The $8 million went to was the University of Cincinnati, the city I live in, to study transgenic mice. They're very close, I know, they sound so close to the same, they're just so much close to the transgenic is about DNA and genes and CRISPR and things that you would never understand. But for you guys, anything that has the word trans in it means that it's transgender, right? Like transact, is that someone who's inactive pretending to be active? Transport, I guess, is something on dry land that's pretending to be a port. Translate is someone who's always early, who pretends to be late. Transform is a blob pretending to have form. Transcend is someone who receives things but is pretending to send things. Trans-am is a PM car pretending an AM car. Transcribe is someone who can't write pretending that they can. Transplant is a rock pretending to be a plant. Donald Trump isn't smart, and you believe everything he says. What does that say about you?
It just doesn't surprise me, anything that comes out of this man's mouth. I'm reading the comment over here. It says, he is the dumbest man alive. It has like 362 likes. Why would anyone believe that? There is something about Trump supporters where they seem to be allergic with finding information. They turn on Fox News, and for them, that is a credible source. Meanwhile, none of those people have any level of journalistic integrity. They possess no critical thinking skills whatsoever. None. I mean, like none. You have that one woman, whatever her name is, Laura, she literally sits there like she's dismal.
Important because he gave us his vision of where things are going. Yes, he hesitated about the recession. I don't know if we're going to go into a recession.
Hello? Wake up, lady. You're on TV. And the other one that looks like she just crawled out of bed. I forget her name. I'll probably put that up here. It's very, very exhausting and draining. And if that speech that he gave wasn't a disaster enough, think about what happened a few days before when they bullied President Zelensky. Let's play that clip.
Never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being.
Did you see President Zelensky's face when he said he's aligned with Europe? Every European leader has made comments about Donald Trump and the stupid decisions that he has made thus far in the few short weeks that he is pretending to be a president. Let's continue.
You've ever seen, I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace And the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. To come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position to
this
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
it. From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
What you just watched might be one of the most disgusting displays of behavior that Donald Trump has ever shown, and that is saying something. That was Trump and J.D. Vance viciously attacking and lecturing a leader whose country is under active invasion by one of America's enemies, Russia.
I think that Brian Tyler Cohen said it best, that it was the most disgusting things ever displayed on television. You had Donald Trump pointing his finger at a respected president, a person who is fighting and defending his country. And you have this man dressed up in a suit, and you have MTG's, the cave woman's boyfriend, talking about why isn't he wearing a suit. This is a man who would probably stand behind a woman if he went to the Ukraine and use her as a shield, because he will be too bitch ass to confront anything that has to do with war. Any of those men would hide behind women. Look at the way Ilanka walks around with his kid. Everybody says that's a shield. We all know it. We're not stupid. It was an embarrassment. An utter embarrassment. And to bully a man, and why is Shady Vance there anyway? Why is he there? Marco Rubio, who was sitting there with his hands folded, he looked like he wanted to be part of the couch after all was said and done. This meeting was a disgrace, and it shouldn't have been displayed on TV. Donald Trump has no power whatsoever. What did he say on day one? Didn't he say that he was going to end the war on day one? It is what? March 8th. We're well past over day one. It's just disgusting in my book. Let's switch gears now. MAGA supporters are very, very funny when it comes to TikTok lives. The other day, I was on Zeus's live where he brought someone up that was very suspicious indeed. The rumor mill is there are over 10,000 Russian bots on TikTok, allegedly. There is a little bit of funny business going on, and it seemed when TikTok went down, the algorithm changed. I've noticed by blocking certain accounts like Facebook and Meta, the algorithm is starting to fix itself, because now I'm seeing accounts that I was used to seeing all the time. But needless to say, it was very, very strange. So I was doing a live sometime last week, and a woman came on who claimed that she was from another country, Moldavia or something like that. I'm pronouncing it wrong. And she was here trying to get her citizenship. She has 2 kids. And let me tell you something. I felt for her. I had empathy for her. I was empathizing on the fact that here's this woman who English is her second language. She's trying to express herself. We're trying to explain to her certain things, because her feeling was, how come we're not going out there and protesting? And it is very clear that Black and brown people, we're not going out there. I'm not. I'm going to stay right here. I am not going out anywhere. If anybody is upset and they want to protest, they can do it on their own. I will not be joining them. And we all understand why. And I think her saying that should have been the clue in. The next day, after we both followed each other, and I told her, join Zeus's live because he has very informative people who come in and share their experiences, she was suddenly gone. The account was gone. The user did not exist. It was very strange. So we were talking to a very sophisticated bot who basically preyed on our empathy. And that is very scary. Anybody who has encountered these type of bots, you should be very concerned. For me, it's like another episode of Shit Show with his narcissism and gaslighting. That's what it reminds me of. Zeus had this very strange person on, and I don't know if they were a Russian bot, but I'm going to go ahead and play you this video because it was strange to say the least.
All right, let's go back to the. Are there any Trump supporters out there? Please put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here. All right, seriously, I'll bring you right on up here. All right, and we'll address whatever questions or concerns you might have. All right. Oh, okay, we got one. Let's see, who do we have here? Let's go. Let's see, who do we have? Snoop Rules. I feel like I've spoken with you before. Have I spoken with you before?
No, this is the first time.
Okay, so you supported Donald Trump. You still support him?
So the thing is, I used to be a hardcore Democrat, and all the way up until 2020, and then I changed my party to Trump. Yes, and the reason why I did that is because every time I needed help from a Democrat here, nobody listened here. So, and then when I asked for help from people on the Trump side, everybody was there to help and stuff like that.
Can I get an example of this? Are you talking about like your experience on TikTok?
Like when I had something wrong going on in my house, like my pipe blew for my toilet here, I asked for help from all my Democrat friends and nobody wanted help.
Can you turn your camera on?
I don't have enough followers.
No, I just sent you a request.
I don't have enough followers.
It says you can invite it. No. So what we're not gonna do is get up here and start lying. You do have enough.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me.
Do you see the it says in 42 seconds I can send it again, and you do have enough followers.
I'm trying to get it to turn on. It's not turning on. But yeah, that's why I changed from being a Democrat to a Republican here. It's because the Democrat Party claims to be a party of love and acceptance, but when I sat there and fought alongside them, they didn't want to fight with me. So
over your toilet pipes. Over your toilet pipes?
I'm like, there was other issues here. I'm like, we had family members that got cancer and stuff like that, and they didn't want to help. But when I went over to Trump people here, I got over $5,000 of help.
Okay, and this happened on TikTok?
This happened on TikTok here, on the streets, and everything.
Okay, well, you mind showing me an example of the money you got? Like,
Yeah,
how can I verify any of this?
So when my pipes on my toilet broke, they gave me I could raise over $5,000.
I didn't know that. Well, here's the thing. I need you to go find those people, all right? And do me a huge, huge favor. And tell them you ran into Zeus and that Zeus sent you straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
That is the lamest story I've ever heard, and no one believes that. All right, but honestly, if that is true, let's just say, like, hey, your toilet pipes burst, and you only were able to get money from MAGA. Then that makes sense because they'll pay as long as you get over there and tell them you smell Donald Trump's dirty diaper. I'm pretty sure they'll send you anything you want. These people don't think for themselves. But you know what? Congratulations, though. All right, you sold your soul for $5,000. Congratulations. I mean, I didn't know it was that cheap for you to actually get out here and literally vote in your own worst interest. You sound like you sound like Donald Trump says you are?
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
I tried not to laugh, but I've been laughing at this part now for 2 days, yesterday and today, because it's just so damn funny. Now, in all seriousness, if anybody believes that this man had a busted pipe and he went onto TikTok asking for money and only MAGA people gave him money, that is a damn lie. His voice sounded funny too. He was able to turn on the camera if he wanted to. So this is just a perfect example of a person who gets on these lives and they lie. There was another guy who did the same thing, and he's not even from this country. You have people who are Russian sympathizers simping for Donald Trump, simping for Putin. And why? You're not even from here. That's the even crazier part. So, people, you definitely have to be careful when interacting with these bots, because let me tell you something, the sophistication is really scary. And I was going to say something else about the lack of sophistication, but I don't want to share that because I don't want them to get sophisticated in that. But there is a way to find out that they're a bot by asking a series of questions. And it seems one question really upsets them where they end up running away. And I don't know why that is, but it's very, very, very strange to say the least. Well, with all that being said, I am going to end it here. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. How do you feel about this administration? Do you think that Donald Trump is making positive progress in our world, or are things going to get worse? Are you preparing for this, what we say, the 1929 style depression, and how are you preparing for it? There are people who are very, very scared and concerned, and rightly so. This isn't about inciting fear or fear mongering. There are people who are preparing themselves financially because we don't know what's going to happen day to day. And with all that being said, this is Maribel Blue signing off. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.